Sorry for back again, guys. Sorry for the break in transmission. So my guest today is a veteran in the banking industry. He has over. Okay, he's here. Please accept. Oh, excellent. Okay, so you finally. I think it's because when I wasn't following you.
All right.
Yeah,
Hello, everyone.
yeah. I'm so excited. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Rich. Hi, everybody.
Yes,
Good evening, good
yes,
afternoon, good morning
yes,
from anywhere you are across the globe. I'm so
yes.
pleased to be part of you guys today. Thank you once again,
Okay.
Rich. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just by way of introduction, like I've already explained to you, our conversation today is to get to know how you came to be where you are today through your professional life, and to talk about the industry. And the objective is that by doing that, people who are still coming up can, uh, they can get one or two things from your journey and your experiences and your wealth of knowledge in the industry. So, by way of
Okay.
starting, could you please just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do? Network, network. It's not letting us be great today. Day. Oh, okay. He's going to be back. I'm so sorry for the interruption. So like I was saying, he's gonna be back. So I've got friends in the banking industry. I have friends working in different banks, and surprisingly, all their experiences are the same. And I don't, I try to understand why that is. So at the time of starting their career, they are very enthusiastic. I remember my friend who was doing while she was doing the graduate trainee assessment, she was very excited. They gave her a car loan. She got a car, and at the end of the whole thing, so she was hyped starting her career. But then she's been in the bank for I think about 6 years now, and she's had it up to here now, and she wants to leave. She wants to quit. And the same thing, it's the same experiences with the other of my friends. So I'm trying to understand why is there this level of dissatisfaction in, this level of job dissatisfaction. The pay, the pay is fair, but most times they complain a lot about the stress that comes with the job. And the other thing is the expectations, not just the stress. There are all these things about either you're in operations or you're in marketing. The thing about dealing with monthly targets, and most of those targets are not always realistic. And so at the end of the day, you give your all to this job, and you don't have the time to attend to self-development. You don't have the time to attend to either doing a professional program or furthering your education. So one day you wake up, you've spent 6 7 8 years in the bank, different positions, and these experiences, the skills that you've acquired in these experiences, they are not so transferable to other industries. You can't just be, I mean, you've been in operations. Oh my God. He's calling me, and I guess something is up. Okay. Hi guys. I'm sorry he had an interruption. So he just called me, and I'm expecting that he comes back. Okay, he's back, and so we can get this show on the road. Hello, sir.
All right. I hope I'm fully back now.
Yes, you're back now. But
Oh,
I think something
okay. All
is
right.
the sound is a bit low. Can you hear me?
Hi, Rich. Can you hear me?
Yes, the sound is low. Could
Okay.
you yes.
Is it better now? Is it better?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I did not get the question. So I think we should just quickly
Yes.
go
Okay, so
quickly
I was
through
saying
the
that
agreement.
by way of introduction, could you please just tell us who you are and what you do?
Okay. All right. So once again, good day, everyone. Thank you so much, Rich, for bringing me to your program. I'm so proud and honored to be part of you guys today. My name is Akintunde Ajayi, but I prefer to be called Akin Ajayi. I've been around for a while. Uh, I've been in the industry for about 18 years now. Focusing on financial payment services. My first 4 years was, trying to find my feet working with some payment technology companies. My first journey just after my NYSC was with a company called Cards Technology. Cards Technology happens to be the company that first had a live connection, working with one of the banks in Nigeria, directly with Mastercard. As at then, that was about 20, that was year 2000 and year 2002 thereabout. I had the opportunity to join banking, but for some obvious reasons, and again, the way I'm wired, my kind of person, I gave it a thought, having looked at so many opportunities I had on my table way back to 2002. So what I did was yes, I got offers from three different banking all at the same time, and I also got one from from Cast Technology. But I rather choose to work and accepted the offer from Cast Technology because I could see that at that point I've started seeing the future of banking, being digital. That a time will come in our not I mean in that the brick and mortar having to go to a physical outlet before you can complete a banking service, for instance, is would no longer be required. So that was how the journey started, and from there, having prepared myself, and again, I need to also mention to you, I finished my university degree um, by going through a course called, within the social science industry called political science. To some people, it's usually
Okay.
very difficult to believe that a political scientist could turn out to be, a fintech,
Okay.
kind of, in today's world.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, whatever you believe in, whatever your focus is, just keep your head straight, believe in it, work towards it. Someday you get there. So I had that. I prepared myself deliberately, by going through two different companies before, I came to join the banking industry. And after some couple of years, I think about 10 years thereabout, I also choose to go back to, rather continue to provide the service, working and supporting other banks as to working with just the bank all at the same time, kind of. So
Okay.
Rick, if you are still going to permit me, I know at some point as we proceed in this engagement, I'll be able to, throw some light into some of the journeys, the
Yes,
challenges, what we've
yes.
been able to achieve, and, what are the plans, how are we also, looking at the future. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sir. At what point was it always clear? I mean, you came from your position is very unique because you had already spent some time with these two companies that are into digital payment. So
Rich, the line
what?
is breaking. I'm struggling to get your question.
Sorry, I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, I said that your position is unique because you didn't just enter the banking industry from fresh from university. You had already spent some time with these payments companies. So you had an idea, what part of the banking industry sort of you wanted to specialize in. Was it always clear from the beginning that you wanted to do payments or digital banking, fintech?
Okay, I think I'll try and summarize the question because at some point I lost you. You kept going back and forth. But let me see if I can summarize the question. So yes, to a very large extent, I could see the vision initially was blur, but it became clearer at some point when I had to take a decision. I was there talking to myself. Do I want to go into banking industry after my NYSC, as a teller or as a back-end officer, or do I really want to
Okay,
do something unique for myself? So
okay,
these were the thoughts, these were the questions that were going on in my mind, at the point of taking that decision. And again, I took some time to also do a research, understand, where's the future? What is the in thing?
okay,
This was at a time when value card just came, where a lot of merchants, agents, shop owners can then accept a particular card type for transaction. And at the end of the day or at the end of the week, as the case may be, they will take the device to their bank to download the transactions, and that will be converted to real value. So I started looking at all of these things. Then Societe Generale Bank those days also came up with some kind of an ATM where if you have that card, you can only use the card to withdraw money, from their branches. Then at that time was when Standard Trust Bank and a couple of banks started looking how can we have, a common front. I have my customers, they kept their money with me, but how do I allow them? How do I provide that enablement? How do I ease the process, of transacting? Without you going to your bank, you can walk up to where you see another bank's logo and you get your transaction completed. I started following some of this trend, and then I said to myself that I think this is the way. Then my time through the back end, then I'll launch myself when the time comes. And that was exactly what I did.
okay, okay. That did you have any I mean, it must have been very young then. Did you have any guidance,
Lost
any
you.
sort of mentorship, or you were just on your own making these decisions? Network, network. network does not want us to be great today. The network keeps fluctuating, and I mean it's Nigeria, so it's expected. I think he's just gonna come. He's gonna come back. This is he has a lot to say, and you know, I'm really really eager to hear some of the things that he has to share with us. So guys, just be patient, and he's going to come back. Excuse me. So so far he has said that he starting out, it was very clear to him what he wanted to do. You know, he sat down, he knew he wanted to be in banking, but he asked himself what areas he wanted to settle in. You know, was he going to be a teller or a back end operation person? And then he looked at trends. You know, he studied the trends in the industry and looked at, okay, Asa, could you please just request? I think your network, it keeps your network keeps dropping, so please just request again so I can accept. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I think I'm back. I'm back online now.
Yes, sorry, the network
Okay. All right.
keeps fluctuating. Yes, I was asking that did you have any kind of guide or mentorship? Because you must have been very young, fresh out of the university.
Yeah, yeah. So you're very correct. I mean that you cannot rule out in any area you are. You must have people that you are looking up to, who are engaging you from time to time, who are also advising you. Then it didn't occur to me as calling them a mentor or going through a kind of
Okay.
a mentorship, phase. I had quite a number of people that I was looking up to then. Some of them today are past the MD CEOs of different banks. Some have grown up to become group chairman in some of the names that we are all familiar with in the industry today.
Yes.
And again, for every step along the line, they are always the first to run to. Okay, so Akin, this is where I am. I've done this. I've done this. What's next? Do you think I need to wait a bit and do more before I take this step? That has been guiding me all through, and it will surprise us. I've never applied for any role in my life since after my university years. It will just come from some kind of engagement, some kind of informal, interview, and before you know it, I'm getting the offer. Again, like I said, it's not. I think to a very large extent, I have leveraged quite a number of mentors, to pull me through and to be there for me, especially when it is the time for me to take the next move. So that again is very, very critical, and you cannot rule it out in everything you do in life. There must be some people that you are either looking up to or engaging indirectly. That has been my story for me. Yeah.
So starting out, did you have a personal relationship with these people, or you just admired what they did and looked at, studied them from a distance, or did you have people that you personally, you could go to and ask for counsel?
So it's actually both. I have some people that from time to time I run to them, and I have some
Okay.
people that we have never even met since I started my journey. But then I can tell you their story because I follow up with them. I look at what they do. I emulate some of them. At some point, I even try to dress and talk like the way some of them will talk. For
Yeah.
you to know how deep I've gone. In studying some of these guys, how have they been able to do it? I went as far as digging into the background of some of these people. It will shock you to know, okay, are there some similarities in our background? Or what could be, some, And if you look at it, if you look at yourself deep down, you see some of these things coming your way. But how do you identify it? How do you then apply it? It is very, very critical, and it has really worked for me as well. So I would say it's both ways.
And then we didn't have some of the tools we have now. We have the internet, we have social
Correct.
media, LinkedIn.
Correct. Correct.
There was some of those
So
back
so
then.
so so then you just have to pick the story of that person. And again, once you see the person, continuously coming up, the name kept coming up in your vision, the kind of person you are seeing yourself to be, you're always seeing this person, within that space. Yeah, you go to your is it that you pick up a book or a book, again, we have seen some of them who are also a very good writer. You just go and read about them. So then some of them, their books are already there. Then today you just go to the internet, Google the name, put everything there, and you have the story, at a go.
It's really interesting seeing you've never applied for any role at all.
Yeah,
That's
I've never.
that is
I've never.
wow.
It comes, in most cases, it comes in a form of a referral, or maybe there's an
Okay.
opening somewhere and somebody mentioned my name and I'm called upon, and before you know it, yeah, I'll go through the interview session, no doubt about it. I'll go through the interview session,
Yeah,
and
but you
something will, one thing lead to another, it will come my way. Yeah.
uh,
So,
that's
and again,
that's
not to say that I've not had my downtime as well. I mean, no doubt about that. It's good to also talk about it. At some point in my career, I've had to look up to some roles, to some responsibilities, and to some functions, but it just didn't come. You just have to move on, and I'll tell myself, no, it's not the time yet. It's not the time yet. When the time comes, something will happen. And again, you just keep doing what you're doing without paying attention, into the other part. I'm sure you are very clear with what I mean by the other part. Try as
yes.
much as possible to remain focused, remain steadfast. Let people know you for who you are, for what you do. Don't seek unnecessary favor because it doesn't last. But let your work speak for you. Let that thing you do and that thing let it speak for you anywhere you are. So that has been the story. So when
So
it doesn't work, you move on. Yeah.
so you would say that you've had uh you started with payments and then you went into banking, still payments, and then you rose to the ranks and then left and went back to private, to the
Well,
that's
well,
that
not not
that's
not not, not private per se. So
not private. I
this
mean,
is,
they're all
yeah,
private, but the companies that the payment companies, that's where you started, and then you went into the bank
and back to the payment company, kind of. So
and back
that's
to the
that's
payment
that's the
company.
journey. So when I was with the PSPs that I've worked with, then I was supporting all the banks in Nigeria.
Okay.
So at some point, I left those PSPs. I had to join the bank. I was working with a bank. Okay, I worked with that bank for a couple of years. Then I moved again to another bank. So the other bank I moved with gave me some kind of an opportunity to oversee up to about 18 countries.
Within
Within the
countries.
within the payment acceptance space, with the head
Okay.
office in Nigeria. Okay, so that also gave me a lot of experience looking at how things are done outside of this shore. You know, for instance, when you look at Africa, if you are not very familiar with the culture, you will think because we are black, we have the same gene and all of that, and
Yeah.
we do things the same way. In most cases, that's not the case. Today, I can tell you how a Ghanaian will behave, for instance, compared to a Sierra Leonean. When you are working within a particular country or even a cluster, some of the things that you see are not the same experience here. And again, these are some of the things that have come to add up to the kind of experience that I have today. Conveniently, any country I walk into within Africa today, I can bet it with you. It doesn't take me hours before I blend and understand the culture that exists in that country. So some of these things have been able to add up to my experience and gave me the opportunity and, and also what I do today, and you can't rule it out. That's just it. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of if you look back right now, what are some of the successes you think, some of the moments that you're proudest of, if you were to just look back the whole 18 years? I mean, there are moments that when you think about them.
A few of them, I can mention a few. The first in my career path was when I was able to, I was part of the team, okay, that first had a successful online real-time card on POS terminals in Nigeria. Wow. So before then, it was offline. Okay. You'll be issued a value card. We call it value card those days. You take your value card to your bank. Your value card is stored with value. So, for instance, you may store your value card with 50K, 50,000 naira. You walk into a store where you see your value, where you see a sign of value card is accepted here. You slot in your card. That transaction, that value will be depleted from your card, and that value is stored on the POS. So the store owner, at the end of the day or at the end of the week, as the case may be, will take that terminal to the bank to go and download. So everything was 100% offline. Yeah. But I felt so proud to say that the first online real-time transaction, I was part of the team with InterSwitch and a few of the banks. Then there was no NIPS. So, and I can say it anywhere. I felt so proud. And that was the first experience I can share with you. Another one was when I was able to also work with a team to automate the duty fee payment at the airport, where you make a payment and it reflects across all the networks real time. So the only check you have waiting for you is the reference ID on the receipt that was generated when you had your first successful transaction. So there are quite a number of it. Again, when we started, what do we call it way back? We call it POSA branch. POSA branch is such that a card issued by Bank A can be taken to a Bank B branch, okay, and you're able to withdraw money. So you are not left to your bank alone. You can walk across banks and you can complete a transaction request, irrespective wherever you are. A lot of it, and we thank God today we are just starting. There are quite a number of things to achieve and to be done, in Nigeria. I was also part of the web payment success story, where you can accept card transactions from anywhere in the world. In one of the banks that I worked, I was also part of the team that enabled what we call a closed loop, where the card issued by that bank, for instance, in Nigeria or in Ghana, let me take it out of here, maybe in Ghana or in Kenya, a card issued by that bank, when it comes for authorization and authentication, it terminates within the bank. It doesn't go beyond that point. So some of these ideas, some of these initiatives, some of these innovations, are just thoughts, and are coming from different thoughts, ideas, what guys can play with. What are the things that are happening even outside your show at the moment? How can you replicate what you have seen or what you have heard out there How can you work with people who has done it before, to implement it within your space? So these are some of the things that we have done in the industry. Yeah.
Wow. So you've been at every point of the will I say the what's it called? That the transformation to digital, you've been at
Yeah, from
the
from from from
different
from
points
from the core, from the analog journey
to
to the core journey to the digital journey. I've
done.
been part of it.
Wow.
So I mean, we're just moving from core to digital now. I'm sure you guys will have been hearing a lot about USSD. I'm sure you guys are familiar with all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things. Making
Speaking of,
payment, leveraging USSD, leveraging QR,
yeah,
leveraging your phone number. People can send you a short code today and you leverage that short code to complete a transaction request. Quite a number of interesting things are happening at this digital period. Now the core are beginning to look more like are getting a bit more obsolete at the moment, and quite a number of people are moving to. If you look at in Nigeria last year alone, there were over 1 billion transactions on NIP alone. People leveraging USSD to make payments, to make purchases and all of that. People before now, a lot of us could not believe that you can carry a device and do a transfer, and the money will leave your account real time and it's impacting the other guy's account. And you are getting a confirmation of the transaction, everybody is happy. Yeah. And the journey continues. Now people are looking beyond biometrics, people are looking at facial what's it called? People are looking beyond that to say, even with my vein, name it, you can approve transactions, you can make life easier anywhere you are.
yeah,
You are no longer stuck, and like those days where you travel abroad, if your card fails you once, you are dead. You have to be looking everywhere to get money and all of that to fund your bills. But thank God for technology, and it's evolving, it's moving. So for me, it's the best place to be.
so what does the future look like for you right now? Because you keep saying we are still starting. So I know that, there is still more to come. So what does the future look like for you?
You're breaking, Rich. I didn't get that. I
I,
didn't
I
get
said,
that quite well.
what does the future look like for you? Because you keep saying we're still starting. So I know that there is more to come. What are you looking to still be
Oh,
in?
I'm struggling to hear you. I'm really struggling to hear you.
Okay. Um, can you hear me?
You were talking about the future, and if I can respond to just that,
Can
the
you can
future
you
is
hear me?
now. So we are still very much relevant in the industry, and we are still going to continue to be playing our role. We also encourage the young ones that are coming behind us to remain focused and steadfast. Let those new things, things we never even thought about, and let's see how we can collaborate. Leverage the I won't say old, the experience just before you, and also add the new things to it. Let's see how we can make things better for ourselves. The monster everybody is fighting today is cash, as far as I'm concerned. So I really encourage bankers, to stop at some point. In fact, the nearest future, cash is going to disappear. So have that at the back of your mind. There will no longer be cash. It's going to disappear. So what are you doing as an individual to position yourself for that period when cash will no longer be available, whether we like it or yes? People will no longer leverage cash. We are going
It's
back to the old days. We are going back to the old days of where people are leveraging cowries and what have you, trade by barter and all of that. That's where we are going back to. Okay, but in a digital format. I'm sure we all know about crypto.
yeah.
A lot of things are happening.
I've
Cash will
never.
disappear. Where would you? So where would you be? I can't remember the last time I traveled abroad with cash. I don't
Yeah,
travel with
that's
cash.
that's what I was going to say.
That's
That I've in the past, in the past 1 year, I think I've used the ATM just twice. The
Yeah,
consumer mentality is different. You don't need cash for anything. So
yeah. You don't. You jump on a taxi, the taxi will accept your QR payment or your card payment. You get into the hotel, there's a POS waiting for you. You get into the store, you have the POS at where you're gonna, buy your whatever. So where would you want to spend the cash? I think I've traveled a bit, and I can't imagine the last time in any country where I have to keep their currency in my pocket. No. If I have a few naira with me, that few naira will come back to Nigeria with me. And I
Nigeria.
know, like I said, it's a matter of time. It's going to disappear very, very soon. So
Okay.
how do we
So
ensure we
so
pursue a career that will not disappear anytime soon? Very, very important. Even within the banking industry, in fact, across all sectors. Yeah.
I have speaking of relevance and positioning, oneself for where for those in banking and for those in um, um, I mentioned that I have a couple of friends who are in the banking industry and their experiences across border are all the same. The ones in operation, the ones in marketing, they are all focused on getting the job done, um, meeting targets that they don't often pause to look at the future, self-development. Like it's almost as if go get the job done, take your salary, and they can't leave because they need the pay. So at the end of the day, they get frustrated, and then by the time they want to leave, they don't have any plan. There is no plan. Like, what am I going to do? What kind of job will I do, or will I do a business? And also, the skills are not so transferable that if you were in operations today and you stop, you for any reason quit, there is no the transferability of the skills are not so much. So I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how would you advise people who are getting into the industry today to remain relevant and also to have an exit plan, when they want to leave?
So I didn't get quite a bit of what you have said, but if I'm to pick from the few ones that I got, uh, yeah, for those that are in different departments in the bank, and in fact, all I've been referencing are actually beyond the banking sector. In any sector you are today, in anywhere you are, in anything you do, start thinking of how can I do this in a smart way. Doing it in a smart way should be everybody's thinking. Now, in fact, with this current COVID pandemic, it has taught us a lot of things that we never thought could happen. That you think, oh, this is not possible. They are possible. And in fact, it is even more efficient. Working remotely or any part of wherever you are these days is more efficient. Now, look at it. A lot of stores, a lot of stores. I know today ShopRite, Spar, and a few of them, they've gone online. You know what that means? They've gone online. Now, if you're able to graduate, I remember at some point, one of the biggest supermarkets in Nigeria that I was working with way back in my banking days, we started monitoring the rate of cash to cash. 85% of their customers will walk in and use their card to do transaction. Now they sat down and saw the impact of that in their day-to-day and the need for them to reduce some of the number of people that are depending on them. The staff strength had to be reduced because machines and tools started taking over the roles of so many people. Some of them went as far as introducing what we call an inventory program. Inventory management will tie the purchase in.
Sorry,
What about 5, 10, 20 people would do.
sorry,
So
the
how did you
network
ensure that you are ready for?
just sorry, the network. I did not. The video is freezing, and then it's affecting. God, networky time. Network doesn't want us to be great today. I don't know why. So guys, the whole okay, he's back. Sorry, the network, he was reconnecting. Network.
Just
Sorry, can you hear me?
hello.
Yeah,
Am I back now?
it's yes.
Rich?
I think you are.
Oh,
Yeah, it keeps reconnecting, but it's okay. I think it's just Nigerian. Come on.
oh gosh.
Yeah, I think it's back now. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, it's back now. So I lost you at one of the big supermarkets you were working with. That's the last place. After that, it started reconnecting.
Okay, okay, all right. So if I can just pick it from there,
Okay.
today quite a number of them they've started reducing their staff strength. Technology is gradually taking over. If Spa is able to move their store, 50% of their store online, what do you think will happen? Banking today, a lot of new generation banks that are very, very important. What you do, whichever field you are, smartly. How do you quite are yet to automate a process that is as simple as reconciling a failed transaction. But I'm not going to go into all of that. If I'm within the operation system, I will start thinking of how I can work in a more smarter way. And that's just the truth. If I'm in IT, of course.
Network. The network is really, really, really dealing with us today. But he's saying that technology is taking over, with the advent of innovations in machine learning, artificial intelligence, um, softwares. There are lots of roles that will be made redundant in the coming years. So, whatever career or profession you find yourself in, it's very critical that you assess and you think where the industry is headed so you can strategically position yourself to remain relevant. For instance, in the bank right now, if you're in operations or you're in marketing, you're in back end, it makes sense that you start to think of how to um, acquire the skills, digital skills specifically, that would help you to transition into a more digital role. Because this whole coronavirus thing has really, I hope that he comes back, because I still want to ask him about um some of the interesting things that fintechs and payment services are doing. So network has just dealt with us today. So, but nevertheless, so start thinking of how to transition to. I know it's not easy, especially when the job does not give you enough time to think and even acquire the skills that you need. I have someone who I spoke to uh some time ago. Okay, just uh so like I was saying, he just called me because the network is really, really pretty bad. So just bear with us, and he's very has a heart to teach, and it's something that's okay. He's here. Oh, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. But whilst he's he's I just requested, and it's yeah, like I was saying, so start thinking of how to transition to um acquire the skills that will make you relevant in your profession. So some of the skills are mostly digital skills. You can't deal without them. My father at some point, I mean, my dad, um, they are the founding fathers of the accounting profession in Nigeria. So they had this, what's it called, before the advent of new international financial regulations. Yes, I can hear you. Could you just send the request? It's not, the network is just really, really bad, but I think we can try it some more to see if it's going to work. So I was talking about my dad. So those generation of accountants, they when IFRS came out, they had to go back to school to learn and reacquaint themselves with these skills so that they can remain relevant. And a lot of people did not. As a matter of fact, most accounting firms in Nigeria delayed acquiring or getting IFRS certified, for so long. So but it became apparent that without that, you wouldn't be able to prepare financial statements that were world standard. So um, the skills that are needed, skills like I've mentioned before, data analysis, for instance, not just data, data science specifically, because that encompasses data analysis, it encompasses business intelligence, data visualization, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So this skill or this group of skills is one. Okay, it's back. So let me just accept. So data, skills in data science, then skills in digital marketing. Um, Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Am I
me?
back now? Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you now, Rich. Sorry, everyone. It's been a very poor. I don't know what's happening from here. I've had to change to three different networks within the last 1 hour. Uh, my apologies, Rich.
It's okay, sir.
Okay, all right, cool. So let's fire down.
Yes, you were saying that it's critical that we assess the industry or our profession, know where it's headed, and acquire the skills that would help us remain relevant.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, like I said, let me go back to some of the things I've said earlier. Whatever you do today, please be smart about it. Think about it. There's a way for you to make the better use of your position, as it were, and what you do as at now, so that you will continue to remain relevant, in your field as we are approaching the new normal. COVID-19 pandemic has taught us a lot of things, how people can work even more smarter, how things can happen, in a more effective and efficient way, that even up to your management level, the relevance will be there, and the reason to keep you will also be there, and also to yourself, to your personal self. How do you ensure that you are growing? Not only that, you are also very relevant. I've mentioned some stores that today have gone into, online, providing some kind of online services. And day by day, they are working with some of us to measure the impact and what we are seeing from this side. You know, because of some of the information that we have access to, I can tell you, how card how card or digital payment have been able to gradually, deepen into some of the spaces where we think cash is still dominant today. So in whatever we do, in whatever profession we find ourselves, how do we also start to think in that manner? Cash is going to disappear. I've said it before.
Yes.
And the smarter you are, the better for you in your business. Business is not going to wait for you. Going to wait for you. You have to move as fast as you can, because you are in other departments of the bank today that you think are not so digitally ready. You'll be shocked if you don't get yourself ready as well. So whatever we do, wherever we find ourselves, it is very, very important to ensure that we think smart. And
Okay, sir. I the Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because it's showing because yeah, I'm asking if you can hear me.
it's breaking.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, I think I can hear you, but it's buffering, the video keeps lagging. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you
Okay.
now.
So yes, so I wanted to ask, considering digital payments, the past 5 years has seen um arguably tremendous innovation in fintech in Nigeria. From mobile money, Paga, Flutterwave, OPay, Paystack. These guys are doing different amazing things in the industry. And although they all have different business model, like some started with international um, payment processing to even people in the normal the for instance interswitch. They are some one of the oldest guys before this other startup started coming. So there are lots of things that have been happening right now. So what do you think are some of the areas that still need some work in terms of innovation? Because I'm sure new firms, because it seems like that is where, and then there is a, I forgot to mention, there is this digital savings. I think Piggy Vest or something, something. It's a form of mobile digital savings. So there are different, these guys are all, I guess you're not getting some of the things I'm saying. You're not getting some of the things I'm saying. Network is terrible.
Rich, I think I've lost you. I didn't get
Yeah, I can tell from here because the video is
few that I think I got. You were trying to, and wrong. You were trying to understand, the impact of some of the young players, the guys that are coming into the
yes,
payment
like
space
what
now.
are some of the areas, yes, some of the areas you think still need some innovation and some work to be done. There are guys in digital, people going into digital savings now. You could just, with your app, you could be able to save, instead of having the physical savings box that people used to do. So they've got the ones that are doing that. Flutterwave, for instance, they started with international processing. So they have different models, and each of them have their own strategic, I believe, advantage in the area that they are focusing on. So my question is, what are some of the areas you think still need some work? Because we are not there yet, just like you say, but we are getting there. So that means more players are looking to come into the industry. Younger guys are looking to build applications that would, fintech stuff. So what are some of the areas you think still need some work, in terms of new entrants into the industry? Network.